proven way to help a student's study efforts. You can't operate a laptop without recharging the battery, and similarly, no one can realistically expect to perform at a high level if their diet is jam-packed with carbohydrates, fat, sugar, and uber-processed mush. While it may seem excessive to devote an entire chapter to this, I am very enthusiastic about how nutritious food contributes not only to concentration, performance, and general health, but also to mental health. This latter assertion is now firmly backed up by evidence. Studies at Deakin University, led by Professor Felice Jacka, have shown that people who consume food and drinks that are high in sugar and sodium have a greater chance of developing mental illnesses such as depression. Professor Jacka and her team also found a clear link between a diet high in fruit, vegetables, and fish, for example, a Mediterranean diet, and the size of the hippocampus, the region of the brain that is central to learning, memory, and mood. With this in mind, let's work our way through an optimally healthy eating day for a student. Breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day for everyone, but especially busy students. Breakfast interrupts the overnight fasting period, replenishes glucose supplies, and provides other essential nutrients to keep up energy levels all day. Yet national data shows that we are a nation with our fair share of breakfast skippers. This is often a habit that is learned. So if you skip breakfast yourself, think about changing your habit for the sake of the family. An analysis of the 2011-2012 National Nutrition and Physical Activity Survey shows that 25% of boys and 36% of girls aged 14 to 17 regularly skipped breakfast. Of those who did have breakfast, many only slurped down a drink. But most importantly for your busy student, a 2016 systematic literature review by Burrows et al. Discovered that eating breakfast is the most common dietary factor associated with academic achievement. Turns out there is something important about breakfast specifically. Lunch, dinner, and snacks don't make up the shortfall of nutrients and glucose supplies. Part of the reason why breakfast is so important is that glucose is the sole source of energy for the brain, which demands a never-ending supply more so than any other part of your body. Research undertaken by Dr. Marcus Rachel, a professor at Washington University School of Medicine, found that while the brain only accounts for 2% of a person's total body weight, it accounts for a staggering 20% of energy use. In other words, the brain is the most demanding organ we have when it comes to energy consumption. When you don't eat, your glucose levels drop. This affects the more recently evolved parts of the brain, such as the frontal cortex. This is why one of the first symptoms of low glucose level, also known as hypoglycemia, is muddled or scrambled thinking. At the other end of the spectrum, a high blood sugar level or hyperglycemia is associated with elevated cortisol, which can have a negative effect on memory. So, if you're tucking into a few slices of birthday cake, pack away the flashcards. The brain, when rested and properly hydrated, is burning fuel at a slightly greater rate during strenuous study periods, which is another reason why well-fed students perform better. Ewan McNay, an associate professor of psychology and behavioral